How did I feel? I felt overwhelmed, and I thought it was a terrible mistake. This obviously can't be happening. There are so many fantastic people that I know who do so many great things, and really in a way, I just do what I really enjoy in a field that I love. So it just seemed to be, I was being acknowledged for something that was just intrinsic to my life anyway. But it was amazing and wonderful and quite overwhelming. My mum and dad were local business people in smaller communities where it was just taken for granted really that you supported the church and you supported the school, you went to sports days, my dad was in Lions and Rotary, and it was just instinctive. But I think the thing that really changed my thinking about philanthropy or really made me understand how important it was my great friend Margaret Olley, the artist who was a fabulous artist and a great philanthropist. And her journey started in the 80s when she started to make excess money probably from paintings, from her career. And she started to support artists by buying their work and donating them to galleries. It became her life's passion really, that and painting. That's what she was, and that's how she's known today. And that became for me an amazing observation because I saw an awful lot of her. And I also, because we were her dealers, I knew exactly what she was giving away, because when I had these huge selling exhibitions, always completely sold out, and it was this large amount of money. She didn't want it. She said, "Oh, I think send 100,000 to the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and I've heard about this. There's this small gallery in Armidale. I think we should do something there." So very little of the money that she made actually went to her. It immediately went out. Amazing, really. I said to her once, "Why are you doing this?" She said, it's such a hopeless answer, really. She just said, "Oh, what's it all about, darling?" It's a great answer. What do you do with that? Why do I do what I do? I don't know what else I would do. I mean, the arts have always been my life, and since I've been involved with some great performing arts companies, particularly like Opera Australia and Opera Queensland and the Australian Chamber Orchestra, Queensland Symphony, I've been involved with them on a board level and as a patron for years and years. And I think it's like anything. The more you know about anything, the more involved you become, and you realise just what is involved, how difficult it is to get a show up, how difficult it is to keep hundreds of people employed, how difficult it is for the creative geniuses that we have in Australia to keep going, to be paid enough, a pittance really, but to be paid enough to at least survive. So it's a bit like Ollie. What's it all about? Why would I not do it? Oh, there is much more than just the cash, yeah. I think, in a way, the public recognition of philanthropy generally in Australia has been a great thing. It's been, Australians are by nature, quite reserved and a little bit reticent about being acknowledged, because we're very conscious of the tall poppy syndrome and don't get above yourself and all of that sort of thing. Unlike America, which celebrates their achievements much more openly than we do. But it's changing now. I think QCF is enormously important, and it's a baby. It's a baby in terms of its years. It's so young, and the fact that the three people who more or less founded it are still with us is extraordinary. And to have the corpus that it already has, and to be able to do what it does, and across such a wide landscape of Queensland, it's an amazing thing. It's really fantastic. I think it's essential that our young people and up-and-coming leaders understand how important philanthropy is. It's crucial to so many areas of this world. Not just the arts, of course, but medicine and research and education. Philanthropy just drives so many things that we just take for granted, and If it isn't there, and in these days of declining government subsidies, which is inevitable, particularly now in this current crisis that we're in, philanthropy is just going to become more and more and more important. My friend Barry Humphries, the artist, he likes to be considered an artist and also an actor, when he came to Brisbane about 40 years ago for a show, his great friend Robert Dickerson, who was at that point living in Brisbane and was one of my artists, introduced us. So Barry sort of came into the gallery for the first time and said, "Oh yes, Philip Bacon, friend of the artists." And I think that's a pretty nice way to be remembered. That can go on my gravestone. The gravestone, by the way, that will never be used.